Jason Lidford here from Computer Rescue. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes today to explain the difference between backup and disaster recovery. Very simply, backup is having the ability to restore a file or a number of files back to your server or PC network as quickly as possible to restore the data that you've lost. Disaster recovery, however, is exactly as it sounds. If there has been a complete disaster, your server's dead, got wiped out with fire, flood, been stolen, and you need to replace that hardware in order to get your system back up and running again. Now, let's explain what you need for each of them. Backup, first of all. I'm going to assume you've got a server environment and that you're in a corporate company. Okay, you're going to have a server, you've got to plug in some external drives. 2 drives that you rotate on a daily basis, taking one away each night and taking it off-site. Therefore, if you are broken into or there is a flood or a fire or whatever, you've got that drive with you. Servers from 2008 onwards have a facility called bare metal restore. What that means, you plug one of these drives in and it copies absolutely everything on a nightly basis to the external drive from your server. All your data, all the setup files, all the installation files, everything. The beauty of that is if you have a disaster, you replace the hardware by buying a new server, you plug that drive back in to the new server, you pretty much tell it to go and it restores it for you. A couple of hours, generally speaking, you're back up and running, job done. If you have a server that is prior to 2008, so we're talking Small Business Server 2003, Server 2003 or 2000 or anything like that, they don't have that facility. What happens there is you still have a backup of your data onto these drives, but what you would need to do in the event of a disaster is buy a new server, load the software, then restore the data and set up your network again. It can take a day, it can take 2 days, maybe longer depending on how big your server is, how big your network is. So advice there is if you are on anything lower or older than 2008, I would really look into upgrading. It doesn't have to be the brand new stuff, but at least 2008, because then you get that facility. Now, in addition to external drives, there's also a lot of cloud about at the moment, and online backup and off-site backup is quite a good buzzword. All that means is that your data is being copied off-site and taken away. So in the event of fire, flood, theft, anything like that, your data's off-site already. The problem with that is if you rely solely on off-site data and it is trying to do bare metal restore from off-site, it can prove quite expensive because obviously you're paying for the amount of storage that you've got. Also, if you do have a disaster, your server dies completely, your internet's gone as well, restoring solely from off-site can prove a little tricky. So that's the difference. In a nutshell, backup, got to have it, usually locally, although you can have off-site of course, but usually locally if it's going to be quick, because you're going to be restoring things quite quickly and a small amount of data. For disaster recovery, have the newer servers that have bare metal facilities with them, but also mix that and incorporate that into having some off-site data as well. But for both of them, absolutely vitally important is that you take one of these drives home or put it in a file-proof safe or something like that, somewhere safe, every evening so that you've always got at least 2 copies of all of your data at all times. Obviously, we're around. Any questions you've got, please feel free to call us. Website www.computerrescueltd.co.uk. My name's Jason Lidford. Thanks.